My name is Rebecca Hall. I'm at the franchise or Build Advocates Australia and founder and director of Ninedots Build Advocates. Today's presentation is focused around build support services that are available to people who are building a new home or an investment property. A lot of these services that we do provide are often services that most people starting the new build journey don't even know exist. So today's presentation is Home Sweet Journey Home, complete support for a stress-free build. So firstly, a little bit of who we are and what we do. We started the business around 10 years ago from our office in North Geelong, and we have been operating over those years predominantly in the Geelong region, but also in Ballarat, Bendigo, Colac and Melbourne corridor also. Due to the demand of the services that we do provide locally, we have also franchised our operations recently. So these support services are available now across Victoria, and we'll continue to grow that reach over the next 12 months also. So before I get into the support services that are available, it's important to understand why support is even needed. Now, you guys would have definitely heard people who have built before say that they'll never build again, but a lot of the time people don't know the depth of where that comes from, aside from traditionally the cost blowouts that people may experience or the delay. But the reality is the reason why people need support is the knowledge gap. Now, like anything that we do that's new, there's a lot of new learning involved. So I've noted here just some of the key elements that is important to get across before you do start the build journey. So for example, obviously we've got borrowing capacity and capability, awareness of stamp duty, government grants that might be available to you, conveyancing and the legal aspects, land estates options, which obviously you've all come here today and you're in a great spot for exploring those options. But it sometimes goes a bit deeper too in understanding the orientation of the block that you're looking for, the fill and the fall of the block. Yes, please, I should have started with, if anyone wants a donut, please help yourself. The focus on that is we're all about making the build journey as stress-free as possible and enjoyable and the sweet journey, so grab yourself some sweet donuts on the way through. So some of the other knowledge aspects is just being able to have the ability to compare quotes. It's not uncommon for people to come to us and they have already got themselves in the early stages tangled in confusion about two quotes in itself. So an example might be you'll have two quotes that seem fairly similar, but it might be one single line item that says tiles from builder's range. Now, tiles in the whole scheme of a build project is such a minor element, but when you're referring to a builder's standard inclusion, what does that actually mean? When you're comparing at the early stage, it does seem comparable, but is the builder's range a choice of 6 tiles or is it a choice of 60 tiles? So collectively, all that information as you work through can add cost to your build experience. So we've actually put together a checklist. We help clients predominantly through the build process in selecting their best fit builder. That's one of the core services we do offer. But we've put together a checklist today of the common questions that we consider when we're sourcing a builder. So we do have some of those checklists up here after the presentation, or you can pop by our stand. We're just in the far corner as you come in. And we're happy to pass them on. So if you do choose to go the build journey alone, at least you'll have a good start as a reference point. Okay, so build services that are available. You'll see that the support we do offer is quite broad and quite varied, and that is on purpose. We want to make sure that we can fill that gap for people regardless of where they're at in the build journey. So just briefly, we've got build discovery session, which is for people who are starting the new build process, or they may even be just considering that as an option. Land acquisition support, builder selection support, full project management, subdivision support, design support, quote reviews, floor plan experiences. Floor plan experiences for us lends itself to, again, just making that build journey as smooth as possible and enjoyable. Having the ability to be able to visualise your floor plans and that sort of, those concepts early on is really important and does make a big difference to the end product. We have a preferred partner network, which basically gives clients access to any support services that may need throughout the process. Now, I'll touch on it a bit more later, but we don't get referral fees or past referral fees. That preferred partner network is available to anybody online, and it's purely providers that we have come across and our clients have come across through their build journey that they've found to be really supportive and effective in finding the solutions that they're working towards. So that, again, is another valuable resource that's at no cost as well. We do build contract reviews. Now, a lot of people know that going to a conveyancer, you'll get your land contract reviewed. But a missing gap quite often is people don't often get their build contract reviewed. With all the things that have been in the media lately, it's been more forefront that is an important element. But again, we'll touch on that shortly. We're available for general build consulting. So sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what you're going to come up against. So just knowing that there is an element and an option out there for cost-effective build support, regardless of what happens in the journey, sometimes that's comforting enough in itself. Obviously, there'd be quite a few investors in the room. There are definitely investment support options that we can assist with just to make sure you're heading in the right direction. When people do talk about build support, the one thing that they do often know is building inspections. So quite often when people are building, they will get a building inspector, which that is key to that quality assurance aspect of the build. And New Home Connect for us, again, is just another complementary resource in simplifying the process for buyers when they're getting towards the end of the build process. Sometimes there's some confusion around what connections they have to do themselves and what connections the builders do for them. So again, just another online resource for people to be able to connect and compare utility service providers and moving services quite easily. Now, one thing that we do pride ourselves on is being completely transparent. So throughout the presentation, we have put the build service fees up on the screen for you, just as a reference point. It's quite common that whenever I first discuss with people about being a build advocate and supporting people through the new build journey, they will instantly get a feeling that it's expensive enough building a new home, but having a third party involved in the process, sometimes you'll initially feel that that's just going to add to the cost. We're quite passionate and love that that's the complete opposite with us. We enjoy that through each and every one of our services, even the services that start as low as the $220, we add a considerable amount of savings and value to a client's journey. So as I touched on before, Build Discovery is a 1-hour session, and that's about exploring your current position, whether you're considering building new or buying established. Sometimes it's helpful just to have that sounding board and explore options that are available and what that journey might look like for you. Looking for land or land support. One of our service offerings is subdivision support. Now, this is not a service that a lot of people come to need. It's often something that people, if they're exploring subdivision, they may have some support already on hand or they've started to explore the process themselves. But we wanted to implement a cost-effective option to ensure people do have, again, that sounding board the whole way through, just to make sure you're connected to the right people at the right time and that every aspect of the subdivision process is carefully assessed to make sure that it's cost-effective. Land acquisition, that is basically as soon as you've decided that building new is right for you, finding your right block of land is obviously key to the next steps. $660 for us. that covers us working with you to get an understanding of what you're looking for, exploring the land estates, the options available, right down to the individual block itself. Again, it's about assessing the fill on the block, the fall, how much that particular block may impact the build that you're planning to do. It could be just basic understanding of where the easements are, what's possible, how to get the maximum out of the orientation of the block. Now, this service, I actually love that it's early on in our process because it's an opportunity for us to show clients that we are transparent and very cost effective. So the example here is, if you're looking for a block of land, you're looking for some support in choosing that block, for us to assist, it would be $660. Now, that involves the whole process, not just finding one block, but working with you until you're completely happy with the block that you've decided on to build your dream home. The thing here, I'm not sure if all of you are aware, but sometimes with the developers, now there's a lot of developers in the room that would be offering this as well, but a lot of developers offer a builder's referral fee. So if a builder has a client to refer in, often the builder gets paid for that referral. Now that referral sometimes is in the way of a $500 gift card, sometimes it's $2,000 and sometimes it's $10,000. The thing with us is any builder's referral fee that is on offer, we actually get access to it, but that gets passed on to you straight away. So you can see right up at the beginning, by a $660 investment, even through land acquisition, you can be 10 steps ahead right from the beginning. Deciding on a builder or looking for your ideal floor plan. Now, that in itself is a big question when you are deciding to build. So there are different design options, and it's all about just understanding what you're trying to achieve and what option is the best fit for you. So some people may be an ideal fit for exploring their build plans through an architect. Some may prefer to go to a draftsman, which is a little bit more cost effective than an architect. Others may be completely happy with an existing plan that they've seen from a volume builder. They may look to work on a plan with an existing plan with options. So there are builders, for example, that would have a standard floor plan, but you can modify that up to, say, 6, 7 different plan options. And again, that may be ideal for you once you plug in one of those options. In-house design is where you've got a builder that actually works on the design with you after you begin the process. Now, that, again, each of these are a perfect solution for certain people. So the in-house design, generally, it requires you to pay a deposit to the builder up front, and then they work with you to work through that plan. The hurdle for some people there is you don't have that locked-in price at the start. And once you go through that process with a builder, quite often they're the ones that own the plan. So it can get a little bit sticky along the way, but again, it's just about finding the right builder. And if you do your research at the start, that process is completely fine if you're already across what their pricing generally looks like. Again, for when you're comparing a general architect design fee at, say, $15,000 compared to the Ninedots design support of $220 per hour, again, it's about that cost-effective, affordable platform for home buyers to get support. So we do have an in-house designer who provides that professional and expert knowledge, and then can guide you with taking out that, I guess, the chunk of the work. Even if you decided to go to an architect or a draftsman, generally you can save on that process or have some well-considered ideas before you move forward to the next step. Floor plan experiences. So, was that me? No? Okay, great. So floor plan experiences is, again, our focus is about making the journey as stress-free and fun as possible. And a big part of that is understanding your plan and what you're about to build. 3 options that we have for exploring your floor plan is floor plan projections. Now, I'm sure some of you may have come across this before. There are quite a few different providers of this service, but it's an opportunity for you to walk through your floor plans in one-to-one scale, generally in a large warehouse, just to get a feel for the space. Again, we provide that service at $880. It involves the 1-hour walkthrough. We actually come with you as your build advocate and share ideas and thoughts throughout the process. And that's always followed up by a 30-minute design brief session to make sure that anything that you're wanting changed gets documented accurately to be passed on to the builders. Augmented reality floor plans, another one of the experience services. Now, that is a blend between, I guess, reality and being online. So what we do there, it's an ability to walk through your floor plan on an iPad on your physical site. So you would actually we'd get the floor plan made up on the iPad, you'd go onto site, you'd lock in your dimensions, and then it gives you the ability to walk through your home in real space. An example of that is you'd be able to look through the window of your plan and see your actual views that you're about to get throughout the build. It's virtual reality floor plans, and it's the final floor plan experience service that we do provide. Again, the variance in the visualization services is there to make sure that there's different experiences. So we've found that through the ability of putting your floor plans on a VR and being able to have that game-like experience walking through your floor plan, a lot of the younger gaming crowd absolutely love that experience, whereas generally older families don't enjoy that as much as, say, the one-to-one floor plan projection. They might find it a bit overwhelming, but again, it fits in with what we do. It's all about finding the right solution and the right fit for you, regardless of where you're at. Builder selection. So this is, for those of you who do already know us, this is the service that we're generally known for. It's a cost-effective service that allows you to have professional support in finding your best fit builder. Through that process, we work with you to understand your existing brief. We fill in any knowledge gaps that you might have that you might not even be aware that you do have. And then we actually do the sourcing, work through the design aspect, and do the due diligence with the builders on your behalf. Throughout that process, we do the formal quote review, which is included as a standalone service as well. But with that, we go through the quote with fine-tooth comb, making sure that there's nothing that's been missed or overlooked, or if there's any pricing on certain items that may be more cost-effective for you to do yourself later on. From there, once we're completely happy that we've met your brief in regards to what you're looking for, we come back to you and say, based on everything we've spoken about, your timing, your finance capacity, and everything that you're wanting included, this is what we feel would be your best fit. Now, there's absolutely no obligation to proceed. It's just an opportunity for you to have a well-considered build option as a benchmark. But in saying that, based on the value proposition of our support services, it is very rare that people don't proceed through to the next phase. As I touched on, quote review and contract review is available as a standalone service. I won't take up too much time explaining those. They're fairly self-explanatory. It's just important to know that those services do exist. So don't feel overwhelmed throughout the process because support is available at every step. Okay, so if you're already on site or waiting for site start, as I mentioned earlier, building inspections or a building inspection package where you may have the key stages of a build inspected is the most common form of support that people do look to have. Again, with a focus on keeping things affordable, we do offer that at a fixed fee of $2.7, and that is regardless of the house size or the projected build timeframe. Individual building inspections, if you're not convinced that you need the full inspections, but there's a certain aspect of the build that you're a little bit concerned about, again, you can pick up the phone at any stage. It's not something that you need to decide up front. If you get stuck along the way, you can always just tap into one particular inspection. Project management. So project management, again, it's about being transparent and a fixed fee. It's $9,900, and that has us as your build advocate the whole way through the build process. You can see on the screen that this is a typical journey that we would take a client through support aspects. So with that project management fee, we are on site 12 times throughout your build, and that includes your final inspection, and we manage all communications with the builder on your behalf, regardless of who you choose to build with. So any hurdles that come up along the way, again, you're not alone, you've got that support element the whole way through. Okay, so this is our absolute favourite. So low fee, no fee project management. Now, this is a concept that I started the business on 10 years ago, which I just felt that even though people know what project management is, a lot of the time people get their projects managed when they're building a high-end home, building an architectural finish. But I personally felt the people who needed the most help were the people who were building for the first time, really tight budgets. So I developed the low fee, no fee project management. It's basically where we get builders to pay your project management fee on your behalf in lieu of paying an internal salesperson or from their marketing budget. Now, I'm not going to lie, that's an absolute hard slog to try and chat to builders about initially. Trying to convince them to pay us $9,900, they initially see it as we're just passing them a lead. But that's not it. It's about creating an opportunity for people who need it to get support throughout the build process. So over the time, we've absolutely developed that, and we refer to the builders that are on board our program as our Tier 1 builders. And I'm proud to say that in this room alone, we have Mimosa Homes, Chatham Homes, Glenville Homes, Levonix Homes, Eco Townhouses, and GJ Gardner Homes as a Tier 1 builder. And that is forever changing. They're not our only builders, they're the only builders in this room today. So looking for support through the build process is available through these guys, with us by your side every step of the way. Build consulting, as I touched on, you don't know what you don't know. So needing support throughout the process, again, you know now that there's support on hand that's cost effective if you do come up across any hurdles along the way. Some common ones that we do come across is clients needing contract clarification. They may be having technical issues on site. So with us being building inspectors and having that technical knowledge, we can often help with those issues. Variations, prime costs and provisional sums, investment support. A big one at the moment that a lot of people are experiencing is the delays on site. What can you do about it? What's involved? And dispute resolution. So unfortunately, the last 12 months, the scenario that we're in, we have been doing a lot of that. But we pride ourselves on making it fair and reasonable. It's not about, as much as we work for you, the client, it's not always just about that. It's got to be about how you get the best result for the project and moving forward. What's reasonable, what's viable. There's no point winning an argument if it's just going to stall everything else. It's about that creative understanding and care for the situation and trying to find a good solution to move it forward. New Home Connect, again, that's our complimentary service that I mentioned earlier. It's just an online access, just simplifying that process for your final move-in. Again, preferred partner network, complimentary service for just to assist you in connecting with industry-leading tradespeople, suppliers and professional service providers. This is just a bit of an understanding of the typical categories that we do have on the platform, providing access there. One thing that we do with partners, we've actually already had a few people come up to us today and say, if you guys promote me, we'll pay you a fee. And again, that's something that we really pride ourselves on. We don't accept any fee, regardless of how tempting it might be for some staff. We absolutely don't. It's all about what solution we provide to you as a client. The only thing we do ask from our providers is that they provide priority service, and we kind of nudge them to add in a special offer for clients just to make that platform more of an incentive for people to be able to utilise and get value from. Okay, so House and Land Expo package pricing. So even though I've taken you through very transparently what our standalone services are, we do often package our prices. So you'll see there, it's really cost effective for the individual items that are available. But being an expo, it's a bit boring if you don't put some extra kind of spin on it. So we do have discounts available today. But in saying that, I honestly, today is not about making those decisions, I don't feel. It's about gathering the knowledge, getting an understanding of what works for you. So like I say, a lot of times when clients come to me and they say, I've got to sign the quote by tomorrow because I'm getting a $5,000 discount. Generally, the builders are going to want, I probably shouldn't say this in this room, but the builders are going to want your business tomorrow as much as they do today. So take your time, do what's right for you. It's not about a fancy expo discount. Who cares? It's already cost effective. If you need support, just know that it's there, and it's there whenever you need it. One thing I will leave you with is we do, obviously being a build advocate and providing those support services, today we are giving free build support gift vouchers. We have 3 different options, so if that is of interest to you, feel free to pop past our stand. As I said, it's on the far left as you enter. Simply do a check-in and select which build support package would be best for you. And any questions, the whole team is here today to support. So thank you for listening, appreciate it. Have a great day.